Breaking news off the internet. Diana Rossini just tweeted that Bill Belichick was considered for the job with the Commanders, and the Commanders spoke with him, and he had support from some decision makers, but in the end, Dan Quinn is their choice. Now, Rossini's fresh off a hit piece of the New York Jets just yesterday with The Athletic. Obviously, she has a lot of sources and is plugged. The Commanders came out earlier in the whole thing and said, we are not interested in Bill Belichick, but they were also interested in a bunch of people that ended up not being their head coach. I do wonder what the story is about Bill Belichick in this coaching cycle, and if he only chatted with the Falcons, because you would assume that if he was chatting with the Commanders at all, the whole world would have heard about it, but they also might have just been trying to keep it on DL comment.
Yeah, I guess. I love Diana Rossini, so paying attention to say this, but that's complete bullshit. I mean, you don't come out and say, hey, there's no chance so we're going to talk to this guy. That's not our guy, and I believe there was a list of people they talked to, and he wasn't on it, but, I mean, it felt like they weren't in on Bill from Jump Street, and then how would they be in on Dan Quinn after the performance they had in the playoffs and not in on Bill? Like, why wouldn't that be more? Wouldn't this kind of feel like an insider after the fact?
Dan Quinn's 20 years younger than Bill.
Well, no, 13, kind of, 12 and a half. But still, doesn't.
What is his age? 50 what?
59.
Oh, okay. I thought he was 53.
So did I.
50, at least on that list. I thought that's what I saw.
Okay. Well, hey, listen, I thought I saw 53, but you could certainly be right. I was trying to remember.
I might be wrong. Yeah, exactly. 39's right above it. Yeah.
Okay.
So 15 years.
So he's 20 years younger than Bill Belichick, which might be,
it's a lot of years.
A potential reasoning behind it all.
Sure.
But you're right. You're 100% right about what Dan Quinn showed at the end. Like, Dallas, I think, was okay with him taking another job and getting a new DC at the end. But also very okay with him coming back. So, I mean, I guess on the field there's a conversation to be had. But I think Dan Quinn being there and having done the job already, because when you become a head coach, it's a whole new line of bullshit, right? Of things that come across your desk.
There's no manual.
And you just got to deal with it.
I remember sitting in Indy when the dust settled. You come back to the presser, meet with everybody, right? And then team.
How old were you when you got the job?
52.
Okay, so
Too old.
Yeah, of course, Connor. Turned 52 in October that first season, 212. So, yeah, sitting at the desk and everybody's gone, day's over, and I'm like opening drawers looking for like the head coaching manual that, Coach Caldwell maybe left behind. Like, what do you do now? What the frick did we just do to ourselves, right? Yeah, there's no manual, so you just one day at a time and just kind of, there's going to be a lot more stuff.
It feels like the Seattle Seahawks are doing what the Eagles have done for a long time. Schneider becomes like the guy in charge, hire a 36-year-old coach, take a lot of the stuff that normally would come across the head coach's desk, put that to Schneider's desk. You just worry about operating the team. Now, if he has massive success over the next 3, 4, 5 years, then there's going to come a situation potentially like Peterson had with Philadelphia where he's going to want more say, and then they'll figure that out, I assume, whenever they get there. But that feels like the method that they want, and the Commanders want with a guy like, hey, this guy's been here, done this before. We want a little bit of stability, maybe. Vrabel.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
He's, by all accounts, good ball coach.
Yeah.
Like, even people that hate the Patriots dynasty,
yes,
he was a part of that, say he's a good coach. People in the AFC South, he's a good coach. People that maybe don't like the state of Ohio, for whatever, I'm not the one of those people, but just Ohio folks don't like. He's a good ball coach. People that don't like people that chew and vape and smoke and all that, they say he's a good ball coach. Was able to lead the Tennessee Titans to a number 1 overall seed with like a record-breaking 90 guys coming through their roster because the amount of people went on IR. I wonder why. We talk about Bill, obviously, because he's 15 wins away from being the greatest winning coach of all time and everything like that. But like Vrabel's just kind of sneaking through this entire thing without a job is almost more surprising to me than Bill. It is more surprising to me than Bill.
It seems like in a lot of these situations, like they went with the younger guy who they could still kind of control a little bit. Like if you get a guy like Vrabel, it's kind of similar to Belichick in terms of like he's obviously not going to be the GM, but like what Vrabel says goes. Like it's his team. It's not. I mean, yeah, the owner owns the team, but like it's Mike Vrabel's team. Like whereas in Tennessee, like we saw Rand Carthon got that promotion. He's executive vice president now and GM. So like yeah, they hire Brian Callahan, but like Rand Carthon's running the show. And it seems like in a lot of these places where these younger guys got hired, that was kind of the modus operandi. It was like, hey, we're kind of taking the team back. We'll get a young guy. Hopefully he has success, but the people in place, the football ops people, are the ones we want running the show.
Our sources are telling us that Bill and the Commanders never spoke.
Okay. Oh, really?
That's just what our sources are telling us.
Okay. No shit.
That's what our source are telling us via text message immediately upon us saying it on the show. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool part of our job now. Back in the day, we didn't necessarily have every human watching our show from at least every different place. And so we would say something and it wouldn't be till like a week or two later where somebody would be like, hey, I saw a clip where you said this. Now in real time, we're getting texted. No, that's not how it went down.
Shout out.
Conflicting reports. Nonetheless, Dan Quinn's the coach.
The interesting thing is when you talk to these teams about these candidates, they really all loved Mike Macdonald. He stood out to them. And so it wasn't, when I said to you on Monday that I don't think the board is going to go the way that people are saying, because everybody was saying Ben Johnson in Washington and Dan Quinn in Seattle. And in my mind, I truly believed from what I knew that Mike Macdonald was getting one of these jobs. I didn't know which one.
Why didn't you tell us?
Come on.
Why didn't you tell us? That's the purpose.
I did tell you. You
didn't say, Mike Macdonald's going to get one of these jobs.
I said to you, everybody's expecting Dan Quinn in Seattle and Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I'm tired of having to read through the shit. Just, I'm a basic human. Just tell me what you know, Shefty. Like, for instance,
Pat,
what do you...
You're a very smart guy. You can add one. I told you that at least one and maybe both, those are the exact words I used, were not going to happen.
The internet gods are telling you that you were wrong there. They were throttling you mid-yell. Your face was frozen there. But now that we have these two decided and there's no other head coaching gigs open, it's like Vrabes, Belichick, Ben Johnson, Slowick. We're all just assuming they're going to wait until next year? This is just a next year type thing? Or what do you think happens with Vrabes and Bill?
Well, they're going to have to sit down and decide exactly how they want to approach the season. And everybody handles it differently. There are various ways to go about it. Both men are under contract, so it's not like there's any rush. Both men are well-known and have great reputations. People know that they're out there. I think if it were me, I think you want to stay involved in the game to some extent. You want to go around in training camps. You want to visit with some organizations that you know and respect, with people that will let you kind of watch and observe for 3, 4, 5 days at a time, maybe a week. Then maybe you want to work with one of those teams just as a consultant in an advisory role, breaking down film, making suggestions, whatever it may be. Because when the next cycle rolls around, and even before then, frankly, the names that are going to be on the tip of everybody's lips will be Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel, Pete Carroll. And by the way, anytime any of these franchises under high scrutiny with a lot of pressure go under some kind of losing streak.
Oh, yeah.
What's the first thing their fan bases are going to say? What are you going to be talking about on this show when a coach starts?
We could have hired Bill Belichick last year. We could have hired Bill. That's the name. That's going to now. Pete Carroll, obviously legend. Vrabes, legend. But you already got. I mean, I'm assuming you're around a lot more than me. I had a Jets fan call me this morning, FaceTime me, and go, "What are we doing? We're still just going to go into this year, and we're just going to let Bill Belichick and Vrabes just be." Nothing, and we're just going to roll with our guy. Now, I'm not saying
you know what may happen. What may happen next year, and I just thought of this. This is interesting. Because these guys are out there. I'm just telling you, this is one option. We've seen in the past. This year, it seemed like there were the 3 openings, and everybody else waited till the end of the season, and then after, because Arthur Smith was fired on Sunday. Ron Rivera fired on Monday. Mike Vrabel was fired on Tuesday. Pete Carroll was Wednesday. Bill Belichick was Thursday. It was one a day. What you may see next year is this could impact how teams handle their coaching situations, so that in